Life is precious, and we all have the opportunity of living it to the fullest. Unfortunately, so few of us know how to manage it all. How do we account for our opportunities? How do we account for our time? How do we account for our relationships, health, spirituality, homes, finances, influence, and careers? How do we account for the one life we have to live? I am so glad you asked. In this program, you will find answers to all of these questions and more. Welcome to the Account for Your Life podcast with your host, the healthy accountant himself, Jay Moore.
Welcome back, everybody. And today, here's what we're talking about on the podcast. What we all should be focused on, especially business owners. This one focal point could potentially change your business. And so today, I was, just kind of thinking about, this thing to focus on, which is difference. What is difference? What is difference? And let's go to Webster. Let's go find out what the heck Webster says about difference. What does it mean? Let's see what difference means in the dictionary. It says, a point or way in which people or things are not the same. A point or way people or things are not the same. So difference, why are we talking about difference today? Well, here's the thing. Have you paid attention to what's been happening in the marketplace, what's been happening with technology, what's going on in the world? Just there's a lot of things happening, and they're all happening at the same time. And what many of us try to do, come on now, if this is true to you, just think about it. What many of us try to do is many of us try and stay the same person. We want to stay exactly how we've been all our life. Have you ever heard someone say, this is just me, I can't change, this, that, and the third, this is who I am? Well, if times have changed, don't you think we got to change? And so in the marketplace, people are rewarded. Companies are rewarded for being different. Like, seriously, just think of it. Look around. What are you using today? What's something that you have? Like, you look at phones, you look at computers, like you look at all the things that we use, and it's because of difference that we get attracted to something, because we're looking at it's like, oh, you know what? That's different than that other thing. That other thing was like this, but they got that. But imagine folks saying that about you or your business. And I thought about this a few years ago for our business. And this is what I didn't like about, oh, I'm an accountant. And immediately people know what you do. They assume you do everything inside of this thing. So they don't even see a difference. They don't see any difference. It's just like, you're an accountant, you do all these, you do everything in there, when that's not true. But here's the thing, I says, man, how can I be different? I said, man, I don't want to be the same as all the other accountants. And I don't want to do all the stuff that all the other accountants do. I just want to do something totally different. And I'm going to tell you, that was in me the whole time, like being different. See, the marketplace is interesting, because let's look into the marketplace real quick. Because if you don't stay the same, just think of it. If you don't stay the same, and say you work entry-level jobs, a lot of entry-level jobs are going to go away. Just start walking in supermarkets. Walk in supermarkets, start walking in a lot of the most well-known fast food restaurants, and they have self-service. They have a self-service checkout at the grocery store. They have self-service ordering at McDonald's. People call me at this hour, like, why are you calling now? Sorry, I apologize. Yeah, there's self-service. And at some point, guys, McDonald's is probably going to have a robot that's fulfilling orders. That means that people at a certain level of working, their jobs are just going to go away. What about self-driving cars? What about self-driving cars? Let's think about, they have self-driving trucks and cars right now. What's better? Why do you think companies are going to buy self-driving trucks? Let's just look at trucks. Why would they buy a self-driving truck? They buy a self-driving truck because, one, the self-driving truck could drive 24 hours a day. The self-driving truck won't speed. The self-driving truck will do everything according to plan. The self-driving truck is a really good asset because we can depreciate the asset over time and get a good tax write-off. The self-driving truck won't complain about coming in early or staying late. So the same thing with the self-driving cars. I remember Uber tried it and they started testing it. It's not ready, but it's going to happen. And a lot of those jobs are going to go. One day you're going to look up and it's all going to be self-driving. That's going to happen in our generation. I don't know how many years from now, but it's going to happen in this generation. So what are we really saying today? Here's what we're saying. Well, you should focus on your difference. What does that really mean? God said, let us make man in our image after our likeness, so that they can rule over the fish of the sea, the birds of the air, and all the things that creeps on the ground. That means you're going to have to go back to the creative person that you were created to be, because in order to find your difference, you're going to have to find your creativity. Look, just say the Good Accounting Challenge, which I'm doing right now. If you haven't registered, you should register for the Good Accounting Challenge at goodaccountingchallenge.com. And the thing about that challenge, even though it says something about accounting, it's my difference in the marketplace. And at the time, I didn't know that I was creating a difference. At the time, I didn't know anything, to be honest. I was just like, man, I'm just tired of being the same. I'm tired of being regular. I'm tired of being mediocre. I know that I'm supernatural. I know that I'm powerful. Have you ever had those ideas, those thoughts for yourself, saying that's what you have to do? Has it ever come to you and said, you know what? Instead of just being something, I will be more than everything that I am. Jerome says that's the technology, this negative side. Well, it's the negative side, but here's the thing: technology has always been a part of our existence. Imagine back when they rode horses and buggies, they had the horses and carriages. Think about this. That industry is gone. Why? Because someone built a car, but it's way better now. So even though everybody lost their jobs, they had to just migrate to a different place. So right now we get to see in real time. It's just happening faster now. Technology is moving faster. So if technology is moving faster, then our creativity has to move faster. We have to continue to create our difference in life, because when we create our difference in life, you're always creating it. You won't get stagnant. Now, a person says, well, how do you create a difference in life? Well, that's a really good question. How? Right? Now, but here's the thing. Let's not go to how first, because how, you have to learn how to do it. First, we got to say, well, who is it that I'm going to become? That's different. Who? So it starts with a who. Because if there's no way you can discover how without knowing who. Think about this. I want to learn how to do something. You learn all the steps. You get all the steps, but somehow the steps didn't work. And that happens all the time. The steps didn't work simply because the person didn't know who. They never identified with who the person was. And so there was a disconnect by the time they did all the stuff. And I was like, well, that didn't work. Well, it didn't work because you were disconnected. And this happened to me. I was disconnected from the person. I just thought that I could just go do something and miraculously get the results. And that's not how it works. God did not create it that way. God says, be fruitful first. You must do that. Now, here's the thing. Dominion comes last. What does that mean? Having something comes at the very end. So you got to first be, you got to do, and you got to do. But your doing supports the be. And because the doing supports the be, then you get to the point where you have to have whatever's associated with the being and the doing. So focusing on difference starts with being. Like, I'm going to be the person that I was created to be. Who was I created to be? Whoever God said I was. See, I could say I'm the healthy accountant, right? But here's the thing. I'm more than a healthy accountant. I'm the author of a book. I'm an author of another book. I'm an author of another book. I'm an author, I'm the creator of the Good Accounting Challenge. It's like all those things start to fit in one thing. So the being is big. Our being is bigger than everything we've already done. Your being. That's why God doesn't actually have a name. God doesn't have a name because you can't really describe who he is because he's everything at all times, anytime that you want to think about something. He's that. Everything that you are, that's God. Everything that she is, that's God. Everything that's been created, that's God. Like God is everything. So you can't name God. We call him God, and that's why most people don't understand God because we try and call him by name, and because we associate ourselves with names, we try and give God a name. He's like, I don't know why you're trying to call me that because you don't even understand what that is. I'm everything. That's why he's I am. So anytime we use I am powerful, we're just recognizing who God is. Every time we say I am. Now, when you say I am not, you don't recognize who God is. You recognize who God isn't, and God ain't that. And so God doesn't respond. So when we say I am, positive thing, growth type situation, then that's when we start moving towards our difference. That's when we start moving towards who God has created us to be. And who God has created you to be is anything, any idea that you think about. That's good. Oh yeah, that's God. Go to it. Go for it. And then keep going forward. Keep creating new ideas. Keep studying more. Keep learning more. God is in all of that. And so as I let you go here, and for the person that's like, okay, man, that's cool, but how do I get started? Great question. How do you get started? Choose. Listen, choose. I remember when I got started. I felt empty on the inside. I found some people that I thought was full with something that I didn't possess. I said, well, God has something that I don't possess, or God can, it's not that God has something I don't possess. God has already put something in me. How can I connect with God? I read the Bible. Then it's like, well, I looked around and saw people. I saw people like Jim Rohn. I saw people like Tony Robbins. I saw people like Les Brown, start seeing like Eric Thomas. And I just start seeing other people that says, well, they're operating in their difference. Let me just study them for a little while. Let me understand them for a little while. Let me read their books. Let me listen to their videos. Let me go to their programs. Let me start learning what someone else is doing that's different. And here's what happens. When you start moving in this growth mindset, I remember I read this book a while ago, The Growth Mindset. I think that's what it's called. Mindset is what it was called. And I got introduced to the two types of mindset, the growth mindset and the fixed mindset. And it's like fixed mindset is basically the mindset that's installed through going to school. Fixed. The growth mindset is the mindset typically found in entrepreneurs. Entrepreneurs realize that, man, they can do more, they can be more, they can potentially have more because they became more. But the fixed mindset just figures, I'm just in this field. Oh, I can just do this thing. That's it. End of story. Life lived. So choose. But I say choose growth. When you choose growth, you position yourself for dominion. Your difference. That's how dominion is discovered. It's discovered through discovering your difference. And when you discover your difference, you discover your domain. And so, guys, I appreciate you for joining me for this episode of the Account for Life podcast. Don't forget, today's day 2 of the Good Accounting Challenge, which is at goodaccountingchallenge.com. Don't worry if you missed day 1. Day 1 is available on replay. You can catch that. You can catch that on the replay this week. You can watch it. I'm going to leave the videos up all week. So I'm going to take them down first thing on Monday morning next week. So you still have time. Join the Good Accounting Challenge at goodaccountingchallenge.com because growing is everything. And we're going to talk about growth today. And we're going to talk about the destiny of life, the destiny of your business. And You don't want to miss this. You don't want to miss today's lesson. So guys, I appreciate you. I love you. And I will see you back here tomorrow. God bless. Peace.
Thanks for joining us, listening friends. We are so glad you invested this time with us. Always remember, you only have one life to live, so live it to the fullest. This has been the Account for Your Life podcast with your host, the healthy accountant himself, Jay Moore. Until next time, make it a great day.